Who punches harder? Jerron Boots Ennis or Terence Bud Crawford? Jerron's shots seem to be more thumping and more like a whip where they come out kind of wider. Jerron also twists his whole body behind each shot, gets a lot of leverage. Terence Bud Crawford's shots seem to be shorter and he gets more of that shoulder snap. Terence Bud Crawford's punches are also placed very strategically. He uses his opponent's momentum against them and catches them coming in and has them leaning right into that shoulder shot. Remember, the punch going from point A to point B in the shortest distance is the goal that's trying to be achieved in all fighters. Mike Tyson made that an art. Boots and Bud both have a lot of knockouts, but who do you guys think hits harder between the two of them? Tell me in the comments. Can the young lion, Jerron Boots Ennis, snatch the crown from the old king, Terence Bud Crawford? Following Bud's demolishing of Errol Spence Jr., he is universally recognized as a pound-for-pound king. Switching from southpaw to conventional, with punch placement and power like nobody else, Bud Crawford is sparking comparisons of Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. But out of Philly, we got Boots Ennis, with striking similarities to Bud, being an effective switch hitter, unreal power, unreal determination. But some say Jerron trumps Boots in his speed and his flash and his defense. While Bud is an efficient workhorse, showing less flash, Jerron Boots Ennis comes in with flashy defense that's also effective. Bud's in the twilight of his career, so he's looking for established legacy fights. So he said this young upcoming lion doesn't fit the puzzle pieces. With politics possibly blocking this fight, this is the fight the fans need to see. But if Boots and Bud end up fighting, who do you guys think takes it? Tell me in the comments. Can Jerron Boots Ennis beat Terence Crawford? Boots has shown us things we have never seen before, like this backspin mid-sparring move that he did, or like this slow motion matrix type thing that he did in his last fight. Jerron has unbelievable skill, he has flash, he has talent, he has physical advantages in height and size, but does that beat the old sturdy workhorse? Terence Crawford doesn't have many bells and whistles, but he has everything it takes to get the job done. Speed, power, experience, and strong, ironclad will. Who do you guys think wins if these guys face each other anytime soon? Remember, Crawford's 36 in the twilight, while Boots Ennis is 26 in the beginning. But who takes it if they clash? Tell me in the comments. The greatest switch hitter in boxing, Terence Bud Crawford, versus possibly the greatest switch hitter in history, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Switching from southpaw to conventional, Terence packs a punch, has speed, has a strong will, and has some of the highest boxing IQ we've seen. His supposedly challenging mega fight with Errol Spence proved to be very one-sided. It was hard for Bud to counter when Sean's trajectory was constantly going forward. Bud's not known for sticking and moving. Marvin would always take one punch to give two or three. Sugar Ray Leonard's hand speed, but most importantly, foot speed gave Marvin issues. However, Marvin's stalking game was top tier. Marvin was best when his momentum was coming forward. Both these guys like setting traps and countering. And how would Bud handle somebody who switch hits just like he does? And this comes down to chin. While Bud has never been really hurt, he has shown slight vulnerability when getting hit. Getting hit actually powers Marvin up, like boop, 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 boop. Who do you guys think wins if Prime Hagler faces Bud Crawford? Tell me in the comments. Canelo versus Bud Crawford, a weight mismatch or a competitive mega fight? Canelo fights at 168 and Bud Crawford fights at 147. They're both 5'8". However, Bud sports the 4-inch longer arm reach. Canelo holds the edge in experience. Canelo also seemingly holds the edge in power. However, Bud Crawford's wrestling background and his freakish physical strength has forced a lot of people to doubt if Canelo would actually be the stronger fighter. While Bud's chin has been relatively untested, especially against somebody 15 pounds heavier, Canelo's chin is certified gold, tested against the likes of Kovalev, Triple G, and much bigger men. So it boils down to, can Bud actually hurt Canelo or hit him hard enough to get his respect? And can Canelo seemingly take the smaller man's hard punches and deal with his slickness? Does Canelo impose his seeming size and experience on Bud? Or does Bud take his freakish strength, his will, and his skill and edge out the victory? Tell me in the comments. The Terence Bud Crawford could end up being one of the all-time greats. I want to compare him to one of the possible greatest fighters in history, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was the sweet science defined. He had some of the fastest hands in history, serious power, snappy punches. His fundamentals were flawless. His psychological warfare in the ring was top-notch. Terence Bud Crawford is a complete fighter. Flawless fundamentals, power, one of the strongest wills and mean streaks in boxing history. Unbelievable strength for his size. He's not known for having super fast hands, but his accuracy, that kind of counter is not having the actual speed. Would it be Sugar Ray Leonard's beautiful movement with his speed, or would it be Bud's style of coming forward, applying that effective, smart pressure, and imposing his will? Who do you guys think would have won? Tell me in the comments. Terence Crawford, I want to compare him to Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler is arguably the OG switch hitter in boxing. Marvin had unbelievable power. He had unbelievable will. He was a pressure fighter. His chin was possibly the greatest of all time. The most surprising thing of all was Marvin Hagler could box. He was on his toes, moving around the ring and dancing like Ali, showboating, making his opponent miss, setting traps, bleeding back, countering quick. But this Marvin Hagler showed that he, as well, had the entire package. Terence Crawford is known for switching stances, ironclad will, very good power. You look at the two of them fight, and the question is, what happens if these two fought at 54, both in their primes? They're pretty even. I would have to lean towards Marvin Hagler. What do you guys think? Who wins? Tell me in the comments. The name of Bud's game was counter-punching. You're going to see Errol come in. He throws a jab to the body. You see his left hand's already cocked to throw the overhand right. But Bud knew that was coming, and Bud plants a perfectly timed uppercut as Errol's coming in. Because Errol was very predictable, just coming straight forward and going low to the body a lot, leaving himself very susceptible to any uppercuts. Bud hits him with a nice shot on top of the head. That's not Bud's fault. Errol was ducking low, and that's where the shot caught him, and those shots knock off your equilibrium the worst, and he went down. Not only was counter-punching and catching and shooting successful for Bud, but one of the keys to victory against Errol Spence was Bud setting traps. Here's a great example of how Bud sets a trap. This footage picks up after Spence already threw that first jab, and Bud stayed there and set the trap, baiting Spence to throw that second jab. And here you see that second jab thrown. Bud dips to the left and then throws a quick counter right hook, spins, throws another harder left hook, which ends up dropping Errol Spence for the second time. Here's a quick clip of Terence Bud Crawford doing the mitts, or the hand pads as we used to call them. There's Bud just jabbing, throwing a 1-2, now she's calling it out, throwing combos, ducking. And you see here, Bud is not throwing, he's not loading up, he's not throwing hard punches, he's just throwing nice, fluid, short shots. That's a mix of him probably working with her for the first time, getting the feeler out, and also him, this is just a warm-up, there's a light workout for him, but he looks real sharp doing it. There's Bud just doing a lot of classic 1-2, hook straight, 2 jabs, 2 jabs. So she's just calling him out now, going 2-3-1, 1-3-2, and Bud's just kind of hitting the target of what she calls out. He's working with the Mitt Queen on her social media platforms as she goes by. Her name's Ann Najar, or Najar, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. She's definitely one of the hottest coaches to work with the mitts in boxing. She was in Creed 3, she's all over the place. And she did great work here.